Krish and Gio here. So we're going to do another API video. We're going to demonstrate how to do verification or actually authentication via private key in the URL. So yeah, take it away, Krish.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another round of Bubble API series integration. So today we would do a scenario where the authentication has to happen through a private key in the URL. And the scenario that we have chosen for this is calendrific API. What this API does is it's an implementation where anybody can make an invocation to this API with the parameters of a specific country or language and a year to retrieve back a set of holidays for that combination of country, language, and year. Okay, did I make sense?
Yeah, I guess it makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, cool. So that's the use case, and that's what we would try today. Okay, let's look at the endpoints. Gio, could you scroll up a little bit? Just a bit, yeah. A little more. Okay, so looking at this documentation, that's the base endpoint that we would be using. calendrific.com API/v2. Now, if you want to know what v2 stands for, it's just the second version or second revision of the API implementation. Nothing other than that. If you scroll down,
Krish,
you
I
have
have a
three
quick
API
question.
endpoints.
Quick question about this base URL. So, is this just for the information purposes, or is there a specific use for this URL? Like, do we need to copy it anywhere?
Oh, yes, this is the same URL that gets invoked in each of the URL calls, or rather API calls. If you look at the endpoints, it's all https:/calendrific.com API. So it's the base URL.
Okay, so it's just, so I was just curious, why do they have to mention it that this is the base URL? Why is it necessary to tell us that?
Great question. This is where the differentiation of URL and endpoint comes into picture. If you look at the subsequent three rows, the first reads as /holidays/language and /countries. Each of these are known as API endpoint. And this is where the word endpoint comes into picture. Endpoint is a resource on the server which the API connects with, which the user connects to.
Okay.
And the server, the URL of the server is what we saw earlier, calendrific.com/API/v2. But that's the server.
Okay.
Now, each server would have multiple resources. One resource is /holidays. So now when I combine the two, I form a complete API representation of a particular URL and an endpoint.
Gotcha.
Okay, cool.
Clear.
So we got three endpoints there. We've got holidays, language, and countries. Most likely, each of these endpoints would return a list of holidays, the different languages, and the different countries it has support for. Fantastic.
Yep.
Authentication. Like I was saying, in this particular example, we would use authentication via private key passed through a parameter in the URL. And the API that you see there is basically the private key of the user who has logged in with. In this case, when Gio logs in, you would see his private key and how we invoke it.
Yeah, I guess we can show them this, right? You're talking about this, right?
That's right. So this is something you would get once you sign up on this page. In fact, this is similar to any API for that matter.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now if you scroll down, okay, so this is what we would do today. Our use case is the user is expected to get a list of holidays for a specific country and a specific duration, which is the year in this case. Now for that, we would use the endpoint holiday API endpoint, and the parameters include API key, country, and year. I'm not making up stuff, it's all written there. But the interesting part. Sorry.
If I may ask, so just to clarify, because I'm not used to this, right? So what are the differences between API endpoints like this, holidays, languages, countries, and required API parameters, API key, country, year?
Cool. So if you remember from our, go on.
I think, just to answer my question, country, year, and the API key are the parameters that you pass to the API, and these are the possible options that API can return.
That is correct. Those are the possible resources.
Yeah, resources, right?
Languages and countries are possible resources. The parameters that you saw there are parameters specifically for the holiday resource.
I get it. Yeah.
The holiday resource would take these three parameters. Yeah. Now, how do we identify parameters? So this is specifically for the viewers. If you'd watched our previous video, we explained how to identify parameters. But again, I'll take you through it here as well. If you see a URL with a question mark, yeah, that's the one. If you see a URL with a question mark, 99% of the times it indicates the URL has parameters. The stuff, the strings after the question mark are in form of key value pairs. In this case, you would see API key equals, a big string. Then eventually country equals US, year equals 2019. So these are all key value pairs, and each of these key value pairs are separated by an and sign or an ampersand symbol on the keyboard. I think, yeah, it's the and sign. Gio, could you highlight that, please? Okay, that's one.
We've got the second one here.
That's the other one.
And we've got the third one here.
So if you had a fourth parameter, you would have put an ampersand sign after 2019, and you would have had the key value pair added to it there. So this is the basic formation of an URL with parameters. Okay?
Yep.
Cool. Now let's look at the response. Well, pretty straightforward, doesn't look too cryptic. It says, it has a response body which says holidays. It's got a name, description, date. So for a layman, I think what it would mean is it'll return either a holiday or a set of holidays, a list of holidays with the name, the description, and the date. I think that's enough for us to understand how the way it's going to return data. Make sense?
Yep, it does. So
it does? Okay, cool.
Should I copy
so
this?
Now let's get into, sorry, what was that, Gio? Yeah,
copy this?
Let's go ahead and copy that.
All right.
Let's copy that. Let's head over to the Bubble API endpoint. Let's create a new API.
So that would be calendarific. And yeah, I just want everyone to pay attention to this is non or self-handled. The moment you change it to private key in URL, you're given the key name and the key value, right? So Krish,
exactly.
What goes here?
Okay, let's go back to the documentation. Yeah, in the documentation, let's see how the API key is called. So it's an API key equals a string of numbers. So,
yeah,
the name of the parameter is API underscore key.
All right.
Yep, let's put that in, API underscore key and key value pair. Okay, let's have some fun. Let's go ahead and take that string.
Yeah, let's take this one first.
Yeah.
All right.
Already?
Should I necessarily use development key as well?
No, you don't have to. Development key is like a key you would need only for test purposes.
Yeah.
It really, I mean, the functionality wise, it works the same way. It's just like a demarcation between a production key and a test key. In this case, it really doesn't matter.
All right.
Okay, so you've got the basic information set up. Let's create a new API call.
All right.
If you could think of a nice name or something. Yeah.
We were saying these are holidays, right? Let's say get holidays.
Get holidays, yep.
Data.
Get holidays, your user as data. Data type remains JSON. Now in get.
So Krish, what do I copy here?
See, all you need here is till the question mark. HTTPS till the question mark, yes.
Okay, so after question mark starts the parameters, right? So, okay. All right. And do we add parameters here?
Now let's add parameters. Which
Okay.
is the first parameter? The first parameter is yes, thank you for doing that. Otherwise, we would have had trouble.
Yeah. So
Country
country, and another one was year,
and
right?
year.
Year.
Let's validate. Yes, it's year.
Also, I think we have to mention that in here, it might be case sensitive sometimes. Sometimes it might not be. So I guess it's up to trial and error, right? There is no way to know it in advance.
Yes, I mean, right. So, I mean, if the documentation calls it out specifically, then I would assume it to be case sensitive. I mean, if it says that, I mean, so it really depends on the implementation. In the documentation, when we went through the documentation, it did not talk about it. So I'm guessing it is not case sensitive. However, the only way to figure out is by invoking the call the way you put a US there.
Okay.
If
Should
it
I
fails, you would
initialize?
know. Yes, let's go ahead and initialize.
All right. So this failed.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Invalid
So
API
okay, this was by
credentials.
design. Yeah. So this was by design. We specifically chose that API key to show an error, to show a type of error, the way it would look like if you punched in a wrong key.
Yeah. So we've
So now,
pasted here the wrong key. Now you have to like once you sign up with Calendarific, you'll be assigned the new API key. So you're just gonna copy and paste this in here. Um, Also, one more thing that I want to touch is we are using this parameter in the API rather than individual call, because if like probably we could use like API key in here as well, right, Krish? I'm just saying, I don't know, but like we could probably use it,
no.
but every call would
Oh
initiate.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, you're absolutely right. That's a great point, Gio. In fact, we could have added an API key there and it would have worked the same way.
yeah,
If you had to create another, the only disadvantage is if you had to create another API call, you would have had to put the API key in the
in there
second
as
call
well.
as well, or for the subsequent calls.
Hmm.
The advantage of having the API key called out initially is like a global variable. If you're aware of what the global variable means,
Yeah.
it's available globally. It will be shared across all calls from here on.
Okay, that's a new terminology that I acquired right now. So whatever you write in here, it's global variables. Whatever you copy here is like local, probably.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
that's a
let's
better way
initialize.
to, yeah, that's a better way to demarcate. Okay, beautiful. So the API worked, it has returned some data. Gio, let's go ahead and hit the raw data section. Let's see. Beautiful. So it has returned the list of holidays for United States and for the year 2019.
Yeah.
I think we have enough data to proceed with the rest of the implementation. What do you think?
Yeah, I guess we have, and let's go to design. I think this is already not fixed anymore. Let me do a column. So for this example, if I remember correctly, we need to use the repeating group since there is a lot of holidays to display. I would say repeating group holidays, and I would do probably get holidays response holiday, and we would do get data from an external API, which is again get holidays. Now this is a specific call, right? So, and we need response holidays. That's right. And also let me remove the number of rows because we're gonna need to display more than how many of this is more than 5 holidays. And yeah, actually let's keep it to 100 pixels. And let me do let me change it to column, and we're going to display current cells. All right, we're going to display current cells, responses. So it's gonna be like holiday name, right? And let me change this as well. Let's do it like this, and let me make it kind of bold. And right below it, I'm gonna push it a little bit, and I'm gonna do description of individual holiday. So instead of name, we're gonna do description. And probably, Krish, do you want to do the date as well?
Yeah, let's do the date. A holiday without the date wouldn't really make sense, no? So let's go ahead and put the date too.
Okay. All right. Let me copy and paste this. And in here, instead of description, we would write date ISO. Krish, also one question I have right now is there is date ISO and there is date, time and year, daytime month, daytime day. So this would be like if I wanted to like split them and first retrieve month and like just to split the data and in there, okay. Yeah, maybe you could use it like for the future references, like for filtering references in the future, probably to filter by month and stuff like that. Okay.
Right. I mean, it's something like, let's say if you want to figure out all the holidays in the month of September.
Yeah,
we could use
that. All right, so let me push it down. And now we should have all this data, right? Yeah. So New Year's Day is the first. Oh, okay. So now we have everything for 2019 and just for the US. So good part of this video is that we've already demonstrated how private key in the URL works. But just to make it clear for someone who has not watched the step 2 of like passing parameters, I'm going to create the filter to pass the dynamic parameters to the API. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the should I create the drop down right away? Okay.
Yeah, I think a drop down, maybe 2 drop downs would help. One for the country and the other one for the year, maybe.
Drop down.
Let's start with the country.
Yeah, let's do just country first. But Krish, do we have to like, can we use the same API call for this data, or do we have to create the new API call for retrieving countries?
Yes, we need to use the other API call to retrieve countries. Remember in the endpoint.
So my question is, if this API, whatever we've already used, is returning a lot of data, including the countries, why cannot we use it the same call, and why do we need to create another call for retrieving country data?
Oh, we can use this. We can use the same call as well. We can use the same call to filter out a specific country. However, we do not have information on which country the API has implemented. It said that it has about 200 odd countries implemented. So without knowing that information, if I go ahead and put Ukraine, maybe they have it implemented, maybe they wouldn't.
Yeah,
in which case we do not know.
Yeah, but we're not trying to do the search here. We're just doing the drop down. So in the drop down, we're going to have only countries that API retrieves.
Oh, yeah. So that's the catch. If you use this API, you cannot filter it. You will not be able to filter it out. You see my point? You can pass a value to it. Remember, it has a parameter. It has a parameter. You can pass a value to the parameter. I can pass a value called Georgia, or I can pass a value to it called India, and it would retrieve that information.
That's very nice thing. Yeah. I get it.
However, let's say if they don't have the holiday list for India implemented, it wouldn't return anything.
Yeah, I get it now. I get it.
It's a very subtle difference between the countries API and this API. This API is meant to return everything, irrespective of, I mean, basically it returns everything that's there. Now you can definitely filter it out, provided you know what to filter it for.
Yeah, gotcha.
You see my point?
Yep, I understand it pretty clearly. So it just returns holidays, that's it. Although holiday has the country parameter or attribute to it, it's not returning countries, it's returning the holidays.
So it is, so it is returning the country, and you can filter it with the country as well. But you do not know which country it has implemented.
Yeah, Yeah. I guess I understand.
It's just that. It's not a big deal,
Yeah.
but it's just a minor. I mean, it's a subtle difference between the two APIs.
All right. So which API do I have to use now to get the countries?
Okay,
Like this one?
Okay, so the countries API. That's the one.
All right. I'm going here. First, let's go to APIs. Get holidays.
We create a new call.
Get holidays. Yep. Would call it get countries. Data. All right. And
that's it. Initialize call.
Initialize call. All right. List of countries. Country name. All right. And I'll go to the drop down and I'll make it dynamic choices. That would be, I think, type of choices has to be text if I'm not. Okay, let's do get countries.
It has to be a get countries response, I think.
Yeah, okay, let me change this to calendarific get countries. Get countries, response countries, choice source, response countries, caption country name, default value, get countries, first item.
Maybe the first name.
Yeah, first item. Oh. So now I'm just gonna filter these holidays. Okay. How do I filter this? Okay, let me first go ahead and see if the dropdown works. Yeah, it works. Ooh. Okay, so dropdown works fine. I'll just give it another 20 pixels or something from top. And yeah, now we're gonna have to filter this by country. But to filter this by country, we have to make sure it has the... Okay, instead of US, we're gonna write... okay, what did I call this? Drop-down country. Okay, instead of US, we're gonna write drop-down countries value. Oh, values country name. Okay, and for the year, okay, let me make sure this works.
Yeah, we'll do one at a time. We'll come back to the year right after the country.
Let's do one at a time. All right, so Albania. Okay, it doesn't work. So I'm pretty sure the problem I have is this. It should be drop down countries value and that's it. But dynamic data in text boxes must be printable as text. But okay, yeah, now I think if I change this to text, all right, now it doesn't work. Okay, let's go back to this. Dynamic data in text boxes must be printable as text, but instead this is a get countries response country. Okay. Drop down countries, country name. Okay. But why it doesn't work?
A few moments later.
One sec, scroll up. Scroll up. Yeah, so look at the country thing. The country parameter must be ISO format documented with list of countries and regions we support. Visit our list of supported countries. So could you click on, so is that blue text clickable?
Oh, give me, just let me try this, Krish. Yeah. I apologize, man, but...
Yep. No, I think if it works, then cool.
not country's name, but ISO 3166. That's what we need. It doesn't filter by United States. It filters by US. I think that's what it is. It still doesn't work, but I think I have to change
No,
it
put in the
here.
value. Put in the year. Put in the year. It might just work.
No, I think I'm not filtering it yet. Just not country's name, but country's ISO 3166. Now it's gonna work. See?
Yeah, you are the man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are the man. No, I think makes sense. Yeah, because
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So now you also have the year.
Yeah. See, now it's
Awesome.
US and 2022.
Fantastic.
So yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna include this, not all of it, but I'm gonna include the like how we struggled a little bit, and then how we fixed it because of the documentation. Because this clearly says it has to be passed as ISO 3166, and we were just passing the country name. So yeah.
Gio, it takes me back to what I said the other day, RTFM.
How is it? Like RFM, right? Read the
RTFM.
manual. RTFM. Yeah, read the FN manual, man. Yeah, you have to read this.
Yeah. See, that's the price you pay if you don't read.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. All right, Krish, it was nice talking
Awesome.
to you.
Cool.
Yeah, hopefully this video is, guys, helpful for you. And yeah, we're gonna probably move to OAuth now, because Krish, what do you think? Because like there is a lot of people who want to know OAuth stuff. So maybe instead of HTTP basic and private key and header, maybe we should just jump to OAuth.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. All right, guys. See you next time. Take care.
Take care. Bye.